So last night, I gave birth. Actually, this morning. Interesting fact. My kid woke up in the middle of the night from having a bad dream or whatever and came to bed with me. And I looked at the clock and it was 4:34 a.m. And my eldest daughter, my eldest child, I gave birth to her at 4:34 a.m. going on 24 years ago already. So I didn't think of that at 4:34 this morning, but I got into bed, snuggled up with my 6-year-old who was having a bad dream and stuff, and I had this dream where I was giving birth, and I didn't know I was pregnant. So I was tripping out in my dream because I'm giving birth. I don't know that I'm pregnant, but there's this, I'm having a baby. Like, I'm having a baby. I don't have a bump, There's no pain to this birth or anything. But I gave birth to a relatively good-sized baby. That was perfectly fine. So I'm not going to get into the whole dream on here. It just made me kind of go, looking at it, I was like, wow, some of the things that we don't realize that we're moving towards and that we're developing. I used to do dream interpretation eons ago. I was a spiritual coach and actually got my whole coaching start being a spiritual coach. And I had teaching people about dream interpretation and the messages that come from our dreams and everything, which is part of the reason why I'm not going to share my dream on Facebook Live, because I believe that our dreams are very intimate aspects of ourselves. And sometimes not the best thing to just kind of pop out there to the world. Hey, morning, Deanne and Addison. So, yeah, years ago I did dream interpretation and a whole bunch of spiritual soul alignment coaching and everything. And, full circle through, here I am back to teaching people about coming into soul alignment and, morning, Danny, coming into soul alignment and really getting on point with themselves in all areas of their life. Now, way back yonder, I just really focused in on dream interpretation and spiritual guidance and learning about signs and messages and all that kind of stuff. But now I've taken that into that practice of creating that life of abundance to be thriving in all areas of life, right? So I gave birth last night in this dream, and I woke up a little traumatized because I was just like, it was quite the thing to kind of go through, right? Have this whole birth. But yeah, I'm like, whew. There was no pain to it. There was a really trippy, cool thing. I mean, after having 7 kids, you'd think that I would not freak out about giving birth, but it definitely was one of those that I was like, wow, that's interesting. Like, that's interesting. But that leads to today's topic, right? I'm right in the midst of launching a 12-week workshop, and all about, this is your time to fly. This is, about having this powerful life experience and having this be your time to fly. So that's going to be launching this week before I head off to Punta Cana. But as I was writing up some of my content for that 12-week series, I just had this mind-blowing epiphany come to me that we're in the last 6 months of this decade. 2020 is right around the corner, and it's not just another year gone by. It is actually the closing of one decade and the start of another decade. And when you look at that, it's like a decade is 10 years long, right? 10 years long, and we have this beautiful opportunity to close out our decade the way that we want to. And I know that a lot of people, yesterday I wrote an article about having this crazy hectic start to 2019, and how I see a lot of people, and even my life and my children's lives and everything, and just kind of witnessing everything, that I see a lot of turbulence and chaos, and just people are really, really busy right now. There's just a lot of busyness. It's not just that it's summertime, but it's just been a whole year of just busy stuff. Lots of of things still transitioning. Last year was a major transition year. A lot of people changing their lives up big time. And it's definitely now coming to this point where I think that a lot of people, even though there is the chaos still that is kind of washing out, a lot of people are also going, crap, like I had these high dreams and hopes at the front end of this year to get this stuff accomplished, to do this, to create that, to move through this, to do this kind of stuff. And now it is June, mid-June, and the year just kind of went boom, 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 right? And a lot of people don't have a whole lot to show for what the first 6 months of this year has really brought to them, other than, holy crap, I've just not been able to slow down or stop. A lot has happened in my world. Well, the next 6 months is a major transition point of closing out everything that you have been working on, that you've been birthing over the last 10 years of your life, and really deciding as to how you're going to step in on that next cycle, that next decade of your time. Because as much as some of us don't want to believe in timelines and time frames and everything, we do run in cycles, whatever that cycle is. I know for myself that it's a 7-year cycle, not a 10-year or 12-year, although each one of those has an impact on my life, on different experiences and what's going on. Decades are significant indicators as to how we are progressing in life, what is happening, how we're moving through, what we're calling in, what we're resisting. And this morning, I just wanted to kind of bring to everybody's attention, like really slow down for a second and look at where you're at. Like, it is time to get very, very real with where you're at, because there's less than 6 months left in this decade, and this transition point, it really is coming up like a new birth into your life experience as you move into 2020. It's not December 31st when you're out drinking and at the galas and the parties and enjoying that, and like kissing your honey for the new year. That's not really the transition. Right now, it's like right now we are in that process. We are in that laboring process into that new phase of time, of space, and into our lives. So what is it that you want to call in? What have you done? Are you succeeding at that? Are you a fuck yes to where you're going? Or are you kind of feeling like you're getting washed over and lost and everything? And please feel free to pop in the comments, like what, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at for the closing of this decade? Are you happy with the last 10 years of your life? Or are you wishing that you had maybe gotten an opportunity to do things a little bit differently? Like 10 being, fuck yes, I'm totally on board. Like, life is amazing. It's unbelievable. It's, just incredible. Things are going so well. I can really see my path before me. Or have you kind of had like ebbs and flows? So maybe you're a 5, 6, 7 in there, and you have these ebbs and flows. You got some good stuff going on, but you got some bad stuff going on. You're not quite clear or certain about where your path is. And of course, those 1, 2, 3s down there where you just don't know what side's up anymore, and you're not really happy with the last 10 years of your life, because it has been quite the wave of stuff going on, and it's just been this energy drain, and you're really kind of feeling maybe lost or just hopeless even, or different things going on. And it's important to kind of look at that, because here's the thing. Anybody who follows me knows, thank you, 5, okay. If anybody who follows me knows, I teach a lot on the quantum world, on energetics, going back to my spiritual coaching, holding a master's in Reiki and stuff, and doing quantum touch and everything, and being active in that quantum field in the healing aspects of things, to understand that we really are all energetic beings. It comes down to the thoughts that we're thinking, the emotions that we're having, the actions that come forth from those thoughts and feelings, and recognizing it and knowing that we have to kind of increase that frequency, that vibration. And it starts right here, okay? It starts with those things and being very, very present to that. So if you look at where you've been over the last decade of your life, right? As we come into this closing point of this decade, you go, well, what do I want to create for the next, from 2020 to 2030? Like, what do I want to create in that time frame? Somebody calling me. It's important to kind of get into the flow of not getting stuck with that old concept, that old vision of self, because that old vision of who you have been over the last decade, if you try to bring that into the next decade, guess what? You're not going to succeed at probably where you want to go, how you want to expand, how you want to grow, the things that you want to call in. Now, if you're like groovy and you're happy and everything, just keep rolling. I mean, if you have no desire to expand, to grow in love and business and health and in your family life, with friends, with any particular subject of your life or the whole picture, right? Then fine, keep doing what you're doing, because that's how you keep getting the results that you have right now, is to just keep doing what you're doing and not change that frequency and just kind of get into that routine. And I actually had the word rut pop into my head, because a lot of the times that's what we end up doing, is we get stuck in this rut, because often it is when we are vibrating at this lower level that we are more likely to get stuck in it. There's something about the comfort level of that, because it kind of gets scary, right? We preach to ourselves, I'm too much, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy of that. We don't really value ourselves at the level that we should be valuing ourselves, so our expectations are set much lower than what they should be for ourselves. When we add in self-love and we add in self-care and acceptance, and we take the ego out of that picture on that, from condemning us and self-sabotaging us, we can actually bring value into the picture, and we can go, oh wow, no, I actually do deserve more. I actually am worth more. I can call in more. I am powerful. I do deserve love. I do deserve freedom. I do deserve, this good shit to come into my life, and I can receive it. I can make myself available to that stuff by being in the vibration that I really truly want to be in, that I want to call in. But that requires what? Us coming back to our presence, awareness of thought, of emotion, and then taking those actions to actually achieve that. A lot of people, though, we get stuck down there in those lower vibrations, and it's very, very scary to take that leap out of that, because we might have certain pieces working for us, but not really working for us. We're working for them, which is a big difference, right? It's a big, big difference to have it working for us versus working for it. And when we're working for it, that is us pushing it. And when it's working for us, that is it pulling us. And we want to be pulled towards our goals, towards our dreams, our desires, that lives that we want to have in whatever subject or all subjects, instead of us pushing to achieve it, to get it, because that's us saying, I don't have it. When we are pushing, realize that when you push, when you're really trying to force something, the energy that you are putting out is, I don't have it, therefore I must make it happen. And you can have success that way, but it's going to be a lot tougher on you. A lot more resistance is what you're going to meet, because you are meeting the resistance of scarcity, of not having the belief center of, I've got, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I can't see. I should drink more coffee. I'll be able to talk after this cup, like right after a conscious coffee, then I'll be able to talk fine. So, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And that mentality is a mentality of, I don't have it. So we're keeping it at bay, or we're constantly pushing something away from us instead of relaxing into it and letting it pull us along. And which is really back to, like yesterday, I was talking a lot about following your bliss and, really leaning into what feels good. Well, that again is exactly what you're looking at, because if you hold a high enough expectation around something, if you really lean into it and you can feel it kind of like bubbling up inside of you, there should be this expectation, there should be this enthusiasm, this excitement, kind of like a little kid on Christmas morning that's waiting to see what, what Santa brought in the presents underneath the tree. That's kind of similar to the feeling that you're looking for around any subject of your life when you are creating something, especially when you're birthing something. To just go, wow, that's really what I want, and just be pulled towards it. You don't have to understand everything. We as human beings, we want to understand everything. We want to have everything broken down for us. We want the blueprint. We want it like structured out and tell me the 1, 2, 3s. That is not how life works. Life, you can try to plan it out, and I'm not saying don't plan it out. I'm saying paint a generalized picture of it, and then let yourself open up to the creation of it, because if you get too focused on those details, you're going to get caught on the details. They will cause snags in your life that will cause resistance and keep you held back, and that is you trying to work at it versus it working for you and pulling you toward it. So if you're one of those detail-oriented people like myself, it's a tough lesson to retrain yourself to kind of let go of those details. I always go, I'm a Virgo. I was, that's just ingrained in me to see all those little things that need to be fixed, and I'm a big time critic on stuff. But I've spent the last 15, 20 years really focusing in and letting go of that self-criticism, of the criticism of life and the way things are just not quite happening the way I tried to dictate them to happen. Those control factors, they really do put in lots of obstacles for us, roadblocks, and cause us to take the long path to where we are trying to get versus the path of ease and just getting there. So it's really, really important to kind of just lean in and go, where am I right now trying to over control the situation? Where am I pushing instead of being pulled to? Where am I, focused more in on the details than the generalized picture of what I'm wanting to have happen? Because when we step into ease and flow around creation work on any level, what we're actually doing is we're kind of like getting into that flow, right? So back to the birthing thing, like my dream this morning, seriously, I'm going to end up telling you guys about it anyway. And being a dream interpretation person way back, I've already dissected it. I already know what it means. It's all really good. It's a really good dream. Even though it was like, coming out of it, I woke up just going, holy crap. So yeah, there's a front end portion of this dream. Word is going to go to the birthing process. So there I was, snuggled up with my lover, and we're laying there and we're talking to my daughter, and I all of a sudden I have like this like little throbbing pain at my pelvic bone. So I reached down and I'm like massaging it, like, ow, that kind of like hurts. Like, what the heck did I do? What did I do? And I reached down and there's this baby's butt hanging out of me. So it's like I had already breached. This baby is coming breach, and the butt of the baby is coming out, and I feel this butt, and I'm like, whoa, like, oh my God, what the heck is going on with this? Anybody coming in on this? This was a dream that I had. This is not what really happened to me just now. It was a dream. So yeah, and I reached down, there's like this baby's butt there, and the little legs wrapped up and everything, and I start freaking out in my dream. I'm like, oh my God, right? Like that. And of course my partner, he gets up and I'm like, get a towel, get water, get that. My daughter's running and everything, and while they're off doing this, I go ahead and this baby is birthed, and there's no contractions, and it's just like ease, except it came out breached, of course, which it should have been really, really painful to give birth to this baby. Like, that's not something that yeah. So this baby's coming out breech, and I lay in there in this bed, and I have the baby, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like quite a big kid. Like, this is like an 8-pound baby, and like a massive head on this thing too. Really big head, which all my kids have had big heads and stuff. And and it's like it's covered in all the stuff from the birthing process and everything. And I like go, oh my God, like I got to clear out its lungs. And so I'm like trying to clear out its lungs, and baby takes a breath and lets out a little cry, and it's fine. Absolutely fine. Healthy little girl. A healthy little girl. So, yay, congratulations, Kendal, right? Gave birth to a little girl at 5 o'clock in the morning in my dream. So yeah, but this whole process, right? So I go through that. Well, do you notice that what I'm talking about there is I'm talking about like there was just like ease in this, which was the shocking part, because after having 7 kids naturally, I can tell you that it's not that easy. Labor's not that big of a deal to me, but it definitely that was like the easiest birth I've ever experienced. But this baby just comes out, and it was just this ease and flow to that. And here's the thing: the message of one of the messages. There's many messages in my dream. For all of you people who understand dreams out there, I know that you already get that. But the whole point that I'm trying to get across in my intimacy share here with you is that ease and that flow in that dream that I had there, that is actually the way our manifestations are supposed to happen. It's supposed to be kind of like this experience where we are pulled through it, where it's almost as if we know what's going on. We feel it. We have this expectation of it, and it just goes with such smoothness, and we just birth out this beautiful thing that we're wanting, right? That we have created, that we have taken the time to create, and that we have just like really worked on. And now in my case, in my dream, I didn't realize I was working on this because I didn't know that I was pregnant. I know what it relates to, but in my physical world, but like in the dream, like I'm kind of taken back by the birth of this child that I didn't even know that I was pregnant with. And yeah, but the process of that ease and flow of it happening is what each and every one of us needs to kind of look at. And how are we manifesting what we want to create? Or what are we creating in ease that may not be what we want to create? Because, a lot of the times I hear a lot of people going, well, the law of attraction doesn't work for me. No, it's working perfectly well for you. You just don't like what you're manifesting, right? You don't like what you're creating. But, oh, sorry to say, honey, you created it. That is coming from you. The good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, the amazing, the beautiful, the awe moments, the holy fuck moments, good and bad ones. That's all coming from you. That's all your creation of what you are making out in your life by what you are focusing on in your thoughts, how you're emotionalizing it, what you continue to bring your attention back to. Are you residing in yesteryear energy, or are you present in right now's energy, or are you present in right now's energy and at the same time putting out a positive expectancy towards the future and calling that in as though it already is? Because that's where that little magical tipping point is that you've got to actually feel the gratitude, you've got to feel the love, you've got to feel the enthusiasm, you've got to feel the power, you've got to feel the freedom, you've got to feel the love, you've got to feel these things that you want to experience in your life. Because the reason we do anything is for the feeling that we gain from it. It's like you can say, oh, I want more money, or I want this great love in my life because I want, this, or I want that. And when it comes right back to it, what you're going after is the feeling. You want to feel loved. You want to feel the freedom. You want to feel, stability. You want to feel happiness. You want to feel connection. You want to feel joy. You want to feel powerful. You want to feel certain. You want to feel these things. Well, those are all things that you can feel right now without whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. Creating that feeling inside yourself and having gratitude for whatever it is that you're trying to create prior to it actually manifesting in your world, materializing, that is how you really speed that process up. But you've got to get into the feeling of it. And that's also where that ease comes in. That ease of that birthing of what you want to have created comes in because you're in that right vibration and you can just feel it, and it's just so smooth and so nice, and you just process right through. And next thing you know, you got this beautiful little baby, right? This little angel right there that you didn't even really have to work too hard at. Okay? And that is where, I mean, like when I had that realization, like, oh my gosh, it's the end of this decade coming up, and crap, like, I wonder where everybody's at and stuff. And I was looking at my world and at the things that have kind of that I've drawn in and created consciously and unconsciously over the last 2 years of my life, and then over this year, I'm just like, like, here you are, like, what is this going on, and like, what am I happy with it? Do I have the momentum for what I want to create, to push through? Am I creating the stuff that I want to take into my next decade, my next 10 years of my life? What does that picture look like? Like, what am I ending this decade with, and what am I starting next decade with? In what kind of vibration am I standing when I get to that time frame of transition? Well, right now, you're right on the brink of taking those final steps into that transition, into that vibration that you get to start the next phase of your life with. So back to that scale of 1 to 10, right? Like, where are you at, and what do you want to be at? Because that's where you need to get over the next 6 months. And it's going to require commitment. It's going to require focus. It's going to require probably a little bit of courage, because if you're not up there at that 7, 8, 9, 10 level of, like, that's where you're really wanting to be, and you're there. If you're below that 7, then know that you're going to have to muster up just a drop of courage to actually step a little bit further in on your game and really level up your life. Because if you want to scale out anything, whether it's love, business, health, family relations, you name it, whatever it is, you've got to be willing to step in just a little bit further and change things. This is more about a tweaking process than it is about really completely shifting everything. So look at, how can I tweak? Where can I get the assistance to tweak? How can I step in a little bit more here? Where's my commitment failing me? Like, where am I giving it lip service, but I'm not really stepping in on? What are some of the things that I've just kind of let sway back and not really followed through on in life, because life's been crazy. It's been hectic. There's so much of this going on. There's so much of that. I've been sidetracked over here. I've been sidetracked over there. All that kind of stuff. Because all of that is nothing more than self-sabotage kicking in. It's not good enough reasons to deny yourself your dreams. If you allow the chaos to rule you, then the chaos will consistently rule you until you go, I've had enough. Boundary time. And I'm going to just lay it down in the sand right now, and there's the line, and no, this is what I'm doing. But you've got to get to that point, and that's going to take the courage to actually draw the line in the sand, and the commitment to hold that line in the sand, and then the commitment to step the fuck in and do the things that your heart, your soul is pulling you towards, instead of you pushing with all your might to try to make something happen. And all that weight that you're carrying around, and frustration, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, concern, whatever words you want to put there, right? Like, all of that, realize that is all heavy negative energy that is holding you down. It's weighing you down, and is preventing you from actually achieving what you want to achieve and where you want to go over the next 10 years of your life. So yeah, there you go. Lots to think about. And it's just out. I was reading something last night, and I think I put it in my sales copy stuff that I'm going to be sending out for my 12-week workshop and everything about the decade, because I was just like, wow, for whatever reason that was impacting me. And I was like, we don't think about this. Like, we just don't think about it. And everybody's so caught up in all this crazy stuff going on right now, that here we are looking at this whole new season of life, and it's time to just kind of refocus. Time to refocus and say, whatever the front end of this year has given you, or you have called in, realize that it doesn't have to maintain. You can right now, with basically a flick of your thoughts and your focus and your emotional attention to it, change wherever you were going to where you want to go. And it really is, to not to put like a shameless plug in for for my 12 weeks is that it's your time to fly. It is your time to fly, and you have unstoppable power. So access that, claim it, and really step in on your life. Okay, guys. I see a whole bunch of people popped on here. I'm going to say good morning to a few. Morning, David, Alexandra, Frank, Addison. I have no clue what you are talking about, Virgo. Oh, yeah, my Virgo comment. Addison's a Virgo, too. Melanie, Corey, Diego, Sean, Thomas, Marcus. Oh, goodness. Hi, morning, Lance. I think I got everybody out. Betty Lou. Oh, goodness. A whole bunch of people up here. Uh-oh. It's not going to let me go past Jester. Okay. So, good morning to everybody. So my question is to you: what do you want to birth in the next decade of your life? Because right now you're giving labor. So realize that this is that moment where it is time to conceive that thought and to focus in on it and get some creation work really bubbling, really juicy, really moving into that space, because the next 10 years can blossom into so much greatness, and you can be unstoppable and you can be powerful, and it truly is your time to fly. So what do you want to venture out into for 2020? Please, if you have any desire to share what your goals are, what your dreams are, in the comment section, I would love to hear from anybody who just wants to pop a 1 or 2 liner in there and just like spout out those positive affirmations as to what you want to call in the next decade of your life, or share, like where you feel that you're at on that scale of, what you're creating and what you're wanting. Where are you at? 1 to 10. 10 being like, yes, you have got this shit down. 1, I don't know what way is up. And 5, 6 in the middle, that's like, I don't know, some good stuff, some bad stuff, but I'm really feeling a little lost. Pop that stuff in there. If you're catching this on a replay, make sure that you put replay in the comment section. Let me know when you're coming in. I love to see your comments, all your love, your likes. And as always, if I've said anything in here that you went, hey, I should share that with so-and-so, well, share it on your page and just hit the little share button. Help me get Conscious Coffee out there. These messages out there help change the world one person at a time, with one positive message at a time as well. Let me see. I think I'm going to do the announcement, because next week, I can't believe this is happening, actually. I mean, I can't believe it's like up on me. Time went by so stinking quick. Off to the beach next week to Punta Cana. Addison Bell and I are doing our annual girls trip that we do, where we just hit the beach and have some fun and chill and relax and all that good stuff. This year we've decided to teach a workshop from Punta Cana. It'll be a 3-day live intensive workshop that we're teaching globally. So we are using Facebook private group to teach this. It is called Monetizing Badass Bosses. And this is really focused on your passion, your play, and of course creating profits from that. Yes, it is focused for entrepreneurs, small businesses, mompreneurs, and side hustle people. But here's the reality: we're not just talking about the profits of money. Although we all love profits of money, we can always benefit from more money, right? But what we are really truly talking about is overall profits of abundance. So no matter what that might mean to you, some people just want more abundance in love, more abundance in connection, abundance of health, of well-being, and of course money in there. We are going to be covering 2 of the main losing my voice. I'm like, oh my goodness. Too much talking, I guess, this morning. So we're going to be focusing in on passion and play. And these are 2 main things that we really need to learn about and implement into our energy, so that we can really call in everything that we want to call in. So no matter what you want to profit in on your life, realize that you've got to have the passion, and you've got to have that creative spirit flowing. And guess what? Passion and play cause creativity. They cause us to increase in vibration, and they allow us to really open up to everything that we really, really want to have come in. Okay, so in the comment section, you're going to see a link to Monetizing Badass Bosses, and if you click on that and if you sign up for that class and you get in on the early bird registration on that, which ends on the 20th of this month. So right there, right? It ends right there. If you get that before the 20th, you are also going to get a bonus course that I taught last year on a global live called Asana Sand, and it is teaching you how to take your business from 0 to 100,000. Of course, it's the exact same principles that you need to continue to use if you want to take your business from 100,000 to 250, 500, a million, anything that you want to scale up business-wise. You're going to get this free bonus course to go along with that until the 20th. It is a $300 value on that. So make sure that you grab that workshop today, sign up before the 20th of this month, get both of those workshops, because that right there could completely change your next 6 months. If you are in that process of not knowing what to do, if you're like really going like, what the heck should I do with my life? The front end of this year, the last 2-3 years has just been like really rocky and rough, and I feel really lost. But you have something that you've been working on, a project that you're like, hey, I could do something with this, but I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know, can I do that? Is that feasible? Can I really follow my heart and my soul here? Or should I just continue doing this over here? These 2 workshops are going to help you take your soul and open it up and read it the way you want to read it, so that you can tap in and get yourself the profits in all areas of your life that you want. And we're going to show you that with both of these workshops. So, Deanne, she shared what she's got going on. Thank you so much for sharing. Open my clothing bank business. Be successful in life generally. Be a spiritual influencer to others. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. Yes. And you know, on that note of influencing, I just want to remind everybody that we're all influencers. We may not all be influencing through, large mass numbers, but realize that you are an influence in this world. You impact this world. You are worthy. You are valuable. You have a message, and it is your time to fly. So, as always, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. Make sure you go through the links and that you click on that stuff. Take advantage of the Monetizing Badass workshop before the 20th, so that you can get that extra bonus workshop with that. If you're coming in at the end of this, go back and listen to the beginning of this. I'll be getting off of here, and you'll be able to do that in just a second. And hit replay in the comments. Hit the share button if I've said anything that was touching you in any way or made you think of something. I love you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.